everyone, it's Sue with Ully Cat's Designs and Ully Cat's World blog, and I'm back today with another process video for Craft Roulette, episode 326. And this week's parameters are for project, a dude's card, colors are sleigh ride, the element is farm critters, and random is pen. This week I'm going to be using Honeybee stamps using their Gallery Wall Gentleman add-on, and I'm going to be making the fox. So that will cover my a dude's card by having a gentleman fox. And a fox can also be considered a farm critter, because how often have you heard the fox is in the chicken coop? And our card base is going to be a wallet. So the Lovely Layers wallet from Honeybee Stamps as well. This layout right here is basically what I'm going to be doing on the inside. I'm going to add a second shorter pocket to it. I'm not going to add the flap or the zipper. We will be adding the holding strap and the little, I guess you call them brads, or the little metal buttons that are the clasps. I'm going to use some faux leather cardstock, and I tried experimenting with rubbing on white ink and black ink, just trying to see the best brings out the texture. And I actually decided that the black, I know it's not showing up here on camera very well, but it's not as harsh as the white. And one of the things I learned about this cardstock is this has only been run once through the die cutting machine. This one has been run through twice. You can see some of the detail is kind of lost. It's a little flattened out. So if you ever use faux leather cardstock or really textured cardstock, be mindful of how many times it gets run through your die cutting machine, because it will flatten it out some. So I took a sort of brass colored metallic pen and I colored a little bit of white cardstock, and that's how I got my little brad pieces. And these were the two inks that I experimented with. Didn't like the white, but I did find the Memento Tuxedo Black seems to have done a nice job. I went ahead and put black ink over everything, and you can see it does give it some texture. Now I have a little residue of, I was working on something that had glitter paper the other day, and we still get an occasional little sparkle. Here are all of my pieces. So I'll start by adding the strip. I'm only going to put double-sided tape on this end and this end so that then we can pull the flap through. But there are circles indented on the, and one of the details that the die does do is it puts in stitching marks all the way around, and I took my finest tipped little black marker to do all of those stitching marks all on all of the pieces. The gift card piece cuts out this nice little card shaped rounded cornered piece, which I have actually cut out a couple of those, the inside shape, to use as pieces that I'll stamp my personal sentiment on. But in the meantime, I'm going to burnish all my folds, put glue on pieces, and I want to avoid my fold. I will use my stamping blocks, add weight, and one of my little tricks is to kind of rub things all over so that they definitely stay down. So that's dry, and I've burnished these folds. And for the second pocket, just matching up the sides. I'm actually going to use my bigger paperweight. I'm using Karen Burniston's mini alphabet numbers to put on the initials for the card recipient. And here's our almost finished card. I will have to add personalized sentiments. And we have our farm critter, our fox, and right now he's on the back side of the gift card holder. And then I've got two of these little cards that I can stamp or write a personal message. So we'll go through our parameter check. It's a card for a dude. It's a dude's wallet. We have our gentleman fox, which also doubles as a farm critter, because you don't want the fox in the chicken coop if you can help it, but you know they're around. For the sleigh ride colors, I'm going to say the brown of the leather, the black horse, although it might have a little bit of orange to it. I actually know that President Benjamin Harrison had an orange sleigh. I used a pen to do highlights on the fox. I hope you got some inspiration from this card and video, and we'll see you next Friday night when Craft Roulette is live again. Bye-bye!